for 25 years. Your home for Minnesota Twins baseball.
Number 17. Walk-off hit.
An overcast but beautiful 75-degree Sunday afternoon in downtown Minneapolis, where another near-capacity crowd has arrived to watch the Twins take on the Houston Astros. Brian Dozier's played a leading role in carrying the Twins to a pair of comeback wins against the Astros this weekend. He leads all of baseball in doubles since July 1st. Mike Pelfrey returns to the mound today for the Twins, who try to sweep the Astros out of town. Brad Peacock will counter for Houston. He was called up from AAA this weekend. First career start against the Twins. Brian Dozier extended his career high hitting streak to 10 consecutive games last night, Roy. 5 hits in the 2 games, 3 of them for extra bases, but the key here is that all 5 have been impactful.
All of them very, very meaningful. This young man has an awful lot of talent and an awful lot of life in his bat. And he's starting to play with a confidence that is really going to see him get to be a better and better player. And I think actually that confidence comes from his ability to play defense. He knows that when he plays defense the way he has played second base this year, he's going to be out there every day, and that gives him the ability to take every at-bat as being important, but not critical or crucial. And with that confidence, we're starting to see his real talent come to the fore. Last 2 games, it's been the Brian Dozier show. He has knocked in every meaningful run he's looked at out there and really helped the Twins get back on their feet after a 3-game loss to Kansas City. So good on Brian Dozier. He's playing very, very good baseball, and I think indicative of the kind of player he's going to be for years to come.
For more on Dozier's streak of success, let's head down to the field and Jamie Hirsch.
Well, thank you, Tom. Roy really hit the nail on the head when he was talking about Brian Dozier's confidence starting in the field. I talked to Brian Dozier earlier today, and of course, this is his first full season in the big leagues. And he says that stability of knowing he will be that everyday starting second baseman has really helped give him more confidence at the plate.
I think coming to the park every day, having a good sense that you're going to play, that builds a lot of confidence. And I know I can speak for other guys in the same situation that if you got a good sense that you're going to play every day, then when you come to the park ready to play, and makes everything a lot easier. So.
What's also made things a lot easier for the Twins is the rock-solid performance of their relievers. When we return, Dick and Burke will take a closer look at the Twins' bullpen bullies.
Visit northlandford.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. And by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. The homestand started with the Twins being swept by the Royals. They hope to finish the homestand with a sweep of the Astros. And good Sunday afternoon to you from Target Field. Dick Bramer, Bert Blyleven with you for the final game of this homestand, and that the Twins are in position to sweep the Astros has a lot to do with a bullpen that's actually pitched more innings than the starters have.
They really have. 13 innings so far by the bullpen, and what a job they have done. Only one run allowed, and again, the strength of this starting or staff for the Twins has been their bullpen. You know what, when a starter only goes 3 or 4 innings, or what the staff has done this year, about 5 1/3 innings, the Twins are where they're at because of the bullpen. Yeah, they've struggled, but from time to time, you know, those guys have done a great job.
And the Twins obviously need better starting pitching, and they hope Mike Pelfrey will give them a better start today than he did against the Royals in his first start in this homestand.
Well, what we've seen from Mike Pelfrey, I think, is improvement as this season has gone on. Pelfrey has lowered his ERA in every month, starting from April. Last month in July, a 3.25 ERA. He's had some success against the Astros. 3 wins in 5 starts against the Houston Astros over his career as a New York Met. And also, he has only 1 win over his last 13 games. So he'd like to get a win here this afternoon.
Twins coming off a winning road trip. The best they can do is a split in this 6-game homestand. They'll hope to complete a sweep against the Astros in just a moment. Twins' leadoff batter has been their most consistent hitter, particularly in the clutch. See if Brian Dozier and the Twins can complete a sweep. We all know this homestand got off to a dreadful start with the 3 losses to Kansas City. But Bert, you go back to before the All-Star break, that series at Yankee Stadium, that remains the only series that this Twins team has actually lost.
Yeah, the Twins are playing better baseball, you know, and the fan support here at Target Field has been tremendous. They sell out last night, and another good crowd here this afternoon. And you know, there's a lot of things riding over the next 2 months for a lot of these players on the field. Where will they be next year?
Bo Porter knows he'll be managing the Astros. Here's his lineup and batting order. Brought to you by Menards in the series finale. Robbie Grossman's been his hottest hitter. He's leading off tonight. Jose Altuve, Jason Castro, Brett Wallace, Chris Carter, Mark Krause, Matt Dominguez, Brandon Barnes, and Jonathan Villar.
Well, one thing the Twins are hoping to get, and that's a quality start out of Mike Pelfrey here this afternoon, making his 20th start, looking for his 5th win. He needs 5 1/3 innings for 1,000 innings pitched in his career. Of course, most of that with the New York Mets. He has faced the Astros before. He's had some success, 3 wins, 2 losses, with a very good 3.31 ERA against the Astros. Now, a lot of these players have not been, you know, with the Astros very long, but hopefully Pelfrey can attack the strike zone.
Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Oswaldo Arcia in left, Lee Thomas in center, Chris Herman in right, Jimmy Carroll, Doug Bernier, Brian Dozier, Justin Morneau, Brian Domet behind the plate. Joe Mauer is the designated hitter. Jim Reynolds' turn behind the plate. John Hirschbeck, Bob Davidson, and James Hoy on the bases.
I think what we've seen from Pelfrey over the last couple of months is aggressive fastball, working a little bit quicker pace. That's what Rick Anderson, the pitching coach, wants him to do. Rely on your defense, not a strikeout pitcher.
Pelfrey had all sorts of trouble in his last start against the Royals. The leadoff batter got a base hit in each of the first 3 innings and pitched out of trouble in the first couple, but then the Royals caught up with him with a 4-run 3rd inning. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
Yeah, the big blow in that inning is Mike Moustakas' 3-run home run in the 7-2 loss to the Royals last Tuesday.
Robbie Grossman, the batter, a 6-game hitting streak, over which he has gone 10 for 20. That's a pretty good 6-game streak. But all of that hit put together, I should say, at the bottom of the batting order, and today Bo Porter puts him at the very top of the batting order.
Yeah, Grossman a switch hitter most of the season down in AAA. So again, a lot of these Astros getting an opportunity to compete at this level. Grossman in his rookie season, a .270 career hitter in 6 minor league seasons.
3-1 from Pelfrey. And a strike called, 3-2.
Well, Pelfrey has 30 walks in 99 innings pitched coming into this ball game. Pretty good ratio, about, you know, 1 walk every 3 innings, 59 strikeouts. Giving up a lot of hits, so there's another one.
Another leadoff hit. Pelfrey, after the 4-run 3rd, did pitch a shutout inning in the 4th inning of his outing, but that was the length of his stay on the mound. 4 innings and 4 earned runs. Cool, cloudy, calm, and we've had very good weather, and this no exception.
Yeah, beautiful day.
Seemed like last year at this time every day it was 95 degrees, something like that. Leadoff single for Grossman. He's extended his hitting streak now to 7 games. Here's Jose Altuve. Up and in, ball 1. This is what we saw from Pelfrey against the Royals, falling behind hitters, long at bats, and way too many hits.
Yeah, he's given up now 123 hits in 98 1/3 innings pitched. He has been able to get 13 double plays turned behind him. Altuve has hit into 15 double plays. Grossman at first base, 4 stolen bases in 8 attempts. Astros overall 71 stolen bases as a ball club. They've been caught 35 times.
One and 0 to Altuve. Swing and a miss. Pelfrey not a big strikeout pitcher, but we'll say it at least one more time. The Astros are setting world records for strikeouts.
Yeah, they struck out 11 times here on Friday night, 12 times last night.
Foul back. Today's Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. And the 23 strikeouts over the last 2 games. One and two. Pelfrey to Altuve.
As a pitcher, you like facing clubs like this because, you know, when a hitter makes contact, you don't know what might happen. There's a little hit and run put on right there by Bo Porter. Altuve fouling it off as Grossman took off with the pitch.
Pelfrey with a season high 7 strikeouts done twice, and a nice little note by Phil Miller, who does a great job covering the Twins for the Star Tribune. No Twin starter this year has struck out more than 7 batters in a game this year. Gives you some idea of what the philosophy is, or the ball lifted to right, playable for Chris Herman. Twins have a pitch to contact starting rotation, less so out of the bullpen, but the starters just like to get their outs on balls put in play.
Yeah, not too many clubs where the bullpen has had more strikeouts than the starting staff, and Pelfrey had 7 strikeouts. You have to go back to June 12th here against the Philadelphia Phillies when he struck out 7 in 7 innings.
Jason Castro, the batter. Pelfrey hoping to pick up his 5th win of the year today. Wins have been very hard to come by for Mike. Strike on the outside corner. He's gotten just 1 win in his last 13 starts.
Yeah, his last win before, I mean, he's over his last 13 starts, 1 win, 6 losses, an ERA of 4.89. And that's since May 5th. But again, you know, he's pitched better, and you look at the numbers in April, May, June, July. The ERA has come from April 7.66, May 5.9. In June it was 4.66. Last month, July, even though he was 1-3, very good, 3.25 earned run average. So he seems to get better and better as the season goes on. And of course, last May, a year ago, he had the Tommy John surgery.
1 strike to Castro. Swing and a miss, and the July numbers pretty good, even with the clunker at the end of July.
Well, he had that good game against the Toronto Blue Jays on July 6th, where he pitched 6 shutout innings. Twins won that ball game 6-0. Then he lost that game in Anaheim 1-0, where he pitched very well.
And there's his first strikeout of the day.
And another strikeout for the Astros. Well, staying outside with that fastball. And you see a little bit of tail on that fastball. And Castro, a strikeout victim. He has now struck out 103 times in 356 at-bats.
Brett Wallace hit a home run last night. And a strike.
There's only two Astros in the starting lineup that has faced Pelfrey before. Castro, who just struck out, and then Wallace. Wallace 1 for 3. Castro was 0 for 3, now 0 for 4.
Those who could have checked this, there are probably more Twins that have faced Brad Peacock in the minor leagues than Astros who faced Mike Pelfrey in the big leagues. 1-1.
Well, Ryan Doman's job here this afternoon, get him down in the strike zone. Pelfrey, a lot of pitches up early, up in the zone, just trying to overthrow a little bit. And that comes from 5 or 6 days off in between starts. You know, the first 2 or 3 innings, trying to find out what works for you. and also trying to overthrow a little bit.
Pelfrey's been a little vulnerable to the stolen base. Going 7 of 9. Keeping a close eye on Grossman at first. That's wide, 2-1.
See another pitch right there. That's where you have to go out as a catcher and just say, hey, get the ball down. If you miss, try to drop that fastball right on top of home plate. That creates that angle. You can almost see the hand, the wrist leading the ball rather than on top of the ball with your fingers. That keeps the ball down. That's the work part of pitching. Work out front. Better pitch right there. Looked like an off-speed pitch.
2-2.
Good changeup right there. Great location. Looks like a fastball. Pulls the string. And gets a strike. Pelfrey, a big man out there, 6'7", about 250.
Got him looking. Clipped the inside corner. Grossman left at first, and a scoreless first inning for Mike Pelfrey. 25 pitches. And Ron Gardenhire hoping that the Twins can complete a sweep. The Menards batting order: Brian Dozier, Chris Herman, Joe Mauer's the designated hitter, Justin Morneau, Ryan Doman, Oswaldo Arcia, Lee Thomas, Jamie Carroll, and Doug Bernier.
And for the third time this season, it's Brad Peacock on the mound for the Astros. He started the season in the rotation, didn't fare too well, and then sent back to AAA, which is Oklahoma City. Came back up again as a reliever, sent back down, and now he's getting another start here at the major league level, making just his 6th start, only his 8th major league start.
Dozier, Herman, and Mauer to get things started. And Dozier takes strike one. Dozier with the batting average in a climb, 10-game hitting streak. It's deep to the right field corner, chased by Kraus, and he makes the catch in fair territory. So Dozier again going down the right field line and making a bid for an extra base hit. Northland Ford defense for the Astros. Robbie Grossman is in left field. Brandon Barnes in center. And Mark Kraus has already made a nice play in the right field corner. Matt Dominguez looks like a keeper at third. Villar, Altuve up the middle. Wallace at first, and Castro behind the plate.
Well, they've had a frustrating year. Last in defense, last in hitting, last in ERA as a ball club. And that's why the Astros, where they are at, is 36-73 on the year.
Ball one to Chris Herman, getting the chance to start in right field. Twins, in essence, rotating 3 positions: the catcher spot, the DH spot, and right field.
That's why Gardy likes that third catcher on the ball club, you know, so he can do this. Ryan Domit behind the plate, Joe Mauer getting a day off defensively, but he's in the lineup as a designated hitter. And then Chris Herman getting an opportunity to get some at-bats.
Last year there was a little bit of a rotation system too, but it involved first base, and that's not the case this year. Justin Morneau, when he plays, almost always is in at first base. A measure of how far he's come from a year ago. 2-2 to Herman.
Well, the scouting report on Peacock: a fastball in the low 90s, very good curveball, 12-6 type curveball, likes a changeup, and then also a little cut fastball like a slider. 25 years old.
Curve missing the outside corner. 3-2 with Mauer on deck.
Yeah, Peacock originally signed by the Washington Nationals in the 41st round as a catcher. The scouts liked his arm, put him on the mound. In AAA this year, he was 6-2 with a 2.73 ERA. That earned another promotion.
Just looking at his delivery and the stuff you just described, and he kind of looks like Anthony Swarzak, who did a great job in the middle relief. Just holds his glove the same way, kind of the similar windup, similar stuff.
Yeah, Peacock 6'1", about 175. Working off that third base side of the pitching rubber, which I like. It creates a better angle on that breaking ball to a right-handed hitter. Short, compact delivery for Peacock. As you see, he steps back, utilizing the pitching rubber, and then drives toward home plate.
Another 3-2 pitch coming to Chris Herman.
I always thought Brad Radke had one of the better deliveries I saw.
Chopper right side, easy play for Altuve. 2 down. 2014 All-Star Game logo has been unveiled, and it's time to show your support and excitement and show your enthusiasm for next year's Midsummer Classic by getting your officially licensed merchandise now. All-Star Game apparel is only available in the merchandise stores at Target Field and at the Twins Pro Shops in Roseville, Apple Valley, and Minnetonka. Be the first in your neighborhood or at the office to sport the 2014 All-Star Game logo.
Yeah, the reason I like Brad Radke's delivery, because he really came toward that third baseline after his follow-through, and that's what Peacock does.
Twins deciding to go with the designated hitter today, even though the starting pitcher Mike Pelfrey came close to making a pinch hitting appearance the other night.
Yeah, don't get carried away.
Mauer into the DH spot. Pelfrey was in the on-deck circle with the Twins losing the DH in the late innings the other night. Gardenhire said he just looked for the biggest guy he could send out onto the on-deck circle, hopefully scare somebody.
Well, again, we go back to a couple nights ago. That was a great at-bat for Clete Thomas, who, you know, was behind in the count. He drew the walk, and that allowed, you know, Correa to come up and lay down a sacrifice bunt.
If Thomas hadn't reached, Pelfrey was going to hit, but because
the game's over.
And Correa has been bragging to everybody what a great bunter he is, so
yeah,
perhaps as much to shut him up as anything else, he said, all right, go bunt. And he did. And Mauer takes a 2-out walk.
I like what Gardy said. Basically, Gardy said, you know what, go ask him, because he'll tell you. But you know what, Correa is not a very good hitter when he's swinging the bat, but one thing he was able to do, you can see him square up, deaden the ball right there, and did his job. Very nice job. Nice bunt by Correa.
Mauer draws a 2-out walk, and now Morneau will hit. Contact lens issue maybe for Jason Castro behind the plate.
Well, that walk by Peacock, that's his 18th walk in now 29 2/3 innings, so that has been a problem. And he's allowed 8 home runs in 5 starts, 9 appearances overall.
Outside, ball 1. mentioned this is Peacock's third stint. Well, in his most recent demotion, something must have clicked, because he went 5-0 with an ERA of 1.73 at AAA, and that's why he was summoned up here to start today.
Well, it's funny that, you know, you get down to AAA and sometimes you relax a little bit. 79 innings in AAA, 76 strikeouts, only 22 walks. But you come back up to the varsity ball club and maybe things tighten up a little bit. You're trying to be a little bit too fine. We've seen it also from young kids that the Twins have brought up. Good numbers in AAA, but a little different here with the varsity club.
Wicked liner, hook, foul. Alger heard that one as it hooked right in front of him, or behind him, or through him. 2-1. A deep drive to right field. Gone.
I just mentioned about Peacock giving up 8 home runs already. This is his 6th start. And Justin Morneau clobbered one for his 10th home run of the year.
And it's nice for Justin to have somebody waiting for him at home plate other than the next hitter. And a run of 5 straight solo home runs ended with this one.
Fastball right there, pretty straight. And Justin taking advantage of it and hitting it over the fence in right field. His 8th home run hit here at Target Field. Good to see. Twins take a 2-0 lead.
And now Ryan Doman. Dropped it into the flowers. The Jim Thome Memorial Flower Bed. Quick start for the Twins. A 2-run home run by Morneau, and Ryan Doman up there with a 1-1 count. This hooked onto the corner and foul. Peacock doesn't seem to be fooling the middle of the lineup. Morneau with a wicked foul ball right before the home run, and Doman stung that one, 1-2.
Haven't seen really a lot of movement out of that fastball. Pretty straight. That's what Justin got for that home run. That breaking ball, Doman, I mean, hit hard down the right field line. That hung, meaning it stayed up. That's a better breaking ball there, better location.
Strikeout ends the inning. A 2-out walk by Mauer, or to Mauer, sets up Morneau with his home run, and it's 2-0.
An early lead as we head to the second inning. Well, Doug Bernier is getting the start today at shortstop for the Twins, and he has earned his spot as a utility infielder on this team. He spent most of the season at AAA Rochester along with Chris Colabello, and Colabello told me earlier today Bernier was the MVP of that team. His numbers at the plate may not show it, but Colabello says Bernier's work ethic and the way he can really pick it at short made him a real leader on that team. He says he plays the game the right way. That's what's really kept him around the game for so long. 12 years in the minors, guys, and he is still very fun to watch.
Thank you very much, Jamie. A ball, now a strike, and it's for a team that's been struggling and needs somebody to fill in the infield, the perfect candidate to be called up.
Well, you pull for guys like Bernier that, like Jamie said, 12 years in the minor leagues. He has paid his dues.
Up near first. Morneau crosses the line as Room makes the catch.
Hey, Roy Smalley, you're down in that camera well. You got to see firsthand of that home run by Justin Morneau. Ball didn't have a lot of movement. Justin took advantage of it.
It's a beautiful, beautiful view from right here when a guy gets a straight fastball in the middle of the plate and gets the big end of the bat out in front like Justin did. And he's been getting closer and closer. It seems like we've all noticed how all of his at-bats are a lot more aggressive. Even his takes, I noticed last night, it looks like he's seeing the ball much, much better now. And I think it was only a matter of time before he started pulling it the way he's seeing it right now.
Yeah, it seemed for a while. I think we talked about it last night, Dick, and I think you, Roy, you got in on it too, that, early April, May, June, even part of July, it seemed like he went up there and said, I don't care where the ball is, I'm going to swing. And all of a sudden now the patience a little bit better.
Exactly right. That's a great point.
Outside ball one to Mark Krause. For fans who think the Twins.
One on my side. Good point.
for fans who think the Twins should trade Justin Morneau and turn the page, or for fans who really want Justin to finish his career with the Twins, him hitting the ball better is good for both camps, I guess. The more he hits, the more home runs he hits, the better he hits, the more interest there might be in other teams. But also, and probably this is the more likely thing to happen, the more apt the Twins are to try to work out something with him to keep him around.
Well, he wants to stay here, and I think Roy would agree. Anytime your name is mentioned, before the trading deadline, which was July 31st, and now you have to clear waivers, but it makes you relax a little bit after you are not traded.
One out base hit to right field for Mark Krause. You can be a part of the broadcast by voting for the Arby's Value Player of the Game. Text value, a space, player's last name to 234-234, and we'll tell you the winner in the postgame show.
I got traded a couple times, before that time that your name is mentioned, and it's a different feeling walking into the clubhouse, wondering if that's the last time you're going to put on that certain uniform. And Roy, you probably went through the same thing from time to time.
I was going through it exactly the same time you were the first time I was traded, because we were traded for each other.
Right.
You're absolutely right. It's unsettling. I don't care how professional you are. It gets in your. You can't help but have it get in your head a little bit.
Dominguez takes a strike from Pelfrey. He hooks one deep to the corner, but it'll hook foul. I mentioned when we introduced Dominguez in the starting lineup for the Astros, he looks like a keeper. He just looks like he's going to be one of the better third basemen in the American League.
Yeah, watch the fan down here. He didn't need no stinking glove. Nice catch. Dominguez, I mean, you look at him, 23 years old, originally, signed by the Marlins, came over in the Carlos Lee trade, and he's had some good at-bats in this series.
And he just looks like he's comfortable at third base. He can go to his left. He can go back on pop-ups, and he just looks like third base is his position. Mike Moustakas of the Royals, who kind of grew up with Dominguez, said as much. He said, this guy played third base even when he was a little kid. Unlike Moustakas, who's a converted shortstop, or Trevor Plouffe, who's a converted shortstop. Outside, 1-2. There's something to be said for that. Terry Ryan, I know, said a year or so ago, he says, go ahead and try to find somebody to draft who's been a catcher from the time he was a little kid. He says, most of the time in baseball, somebody's got a catcher. They move there professionally, like Terry Steinbach or so many other catchers. There's a liner over the reach of Bernier. Advancing to second is Krause. You can ask us a question at carsoup.com/baseball. Charlie in Duluth. Hey, Charlie. Might even be the Charlie in Duluth.
Hey, Charlie.
What transitions does a team need to make when moving from the National League to the American League?
Well, I mean, of course, you lose the, the pitcher doesn't have to hit anymore, so that's a good thing. But that's what the Astros had to go through, going from the National League, where they were, one of the original National League clubs way back when, and now they're in the American League. 2 on, 1 out, and a fastball inside to Brandon Barnes. I guess it'd be, interleague, I think, has probably helped over the years. The Astros going from the National League to the American League, because you get to see more clubs through interleague play, more American League clubs.
I would think the biggest adjustment personnel-wise would be in the pitching staff. It is because the pitcher hits in the National League. It's a little bit easier. I would think a lot easier to pitch in the National League than the American League, where you have 9 hitters, and they're really, some teams like the Red Sox and the Rangers, there's no soft spot in that lineup. Wherever an inning starts, the Rangers in this instance, they got a chance to score some runs, and in the National League that's not the case.
Yeah, I think baseball's got to look at that, whether they adopt the both leagues where the pitcher hits again, or the designated hitter, because of so many games now. 15 teams in the American League, 15 in the National League. There's a game played every series now between the American League, National League teams.
And suddenly Mike Pelfrey wobbling a bit here in the second inning. He retired 4 batters in a row. Krause and Dominguez have singled, and he's fallen behind the number 8 batter, 3-0. Strike called. He's going to have to go pick up his bat.
We'll see how Jim Reynolds, a home plate umpire, reacts to this. Pretty good pitch. See what Fox Track says. Pitcher's pitch, down and away. Barnes thought it was low.
Three and 1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2.
Never want to show the umpire up like that, guys. And Barnes, when he came back, he picked up his bat. He looked at the home plate umpire and said, "My bad."
Yep.
He wants him to know. He's very apologetic about that. I didn't mean to show you up.
Which is the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
Well, he's got all of the 355 at bats in the big league, so he's still learning a few lessons. 3 and 2 with 1 away. Right center field. Herman slams on the brakes, makes the catch, and fires it on one hop to the cutoff man. That was an issue for Chris Herman in the Kansas City series in the finale on Thursday. Herman was just firing the ball wildly to the bases.
Kind of smiling right there, saying, "See, I can do it." But good job by Pelfrey right there. Fell behind 3-0. Make him swing the bat. Make him swing the bat. And that's what Barnes did, and he's the second out.
I think he was joking, but this morning Ron Gardenhire said they sent pictures home with Herman of a baseball player standing with his arms up and identified him as the cutoff man, and sent Herman home with it so he could study it and know what a cutoff man looked like. I think he was joking. Strike on the outside corner to the number 9 batter, VR.
When you miss a cutoff man, the manager's only half joking.
Oh, is that right?
And if you can't laugh at yourself, who else can laugh at you?
Everybody else when you miss a cutoff man.
Well, Herman did it a couple of times on Thursday, compounding the matter. 1 strike to VR, and now a ball.
Well, VR moved into that number 9 spot in the lineup. One thing Bo Parter has done, of course, he's had a lot of young kids coming up and down from the minor leagues, but he's used 96 different lineups already this year, and this is their 110th game.
And that doesn't begin to address this instability in the pitching staff. I mean, this is the type of the time of the year when, if you're Bo Porter, you like to think, okay, our guys are starting to get it, we're improving, and then you trade your #1 starter, you trade your closer, and you kind of start from scratch in the pitching department.
It's not only Bo Porter, it's been the managers before him that has had to watch the Astros deal a lot of good players away for young, talented kids.
3-1 to the #9 batter.
But that's what the Astros are trying to do. They're trying to build up that minor league system, so in 2 or 3, maybe 4 years, they'll have that togetherness and some good, talented players on the field.
3-1 to VR.
VR getting traded over from the Philly organization. Roy Oswalt trade back in 2010.
And a strike, 3-2. Pitch number 42 for Pelfrey.
And this is what we've seen from Mike Pelfrey. Too many pitches in a short amount of time. His last start, you mentioned, against Kansas City, worked only 4 innings, but threw 93 pitches.
Full count, runners will go with 2 outs. And a called 3rd strike. 3 strikeouts. Each inning so far has ended with a called 3rd strike. And the Astros leave 2 more on in the 2nd. Twins fans are anxious to see some of these guys being brought up from Rochester in the hopes that they won't be ever sent back again. Are we seeing that with Arcia, you think?
I think so, Dick. You know, he is such an aggressive hitter. That's the good news. I love that about him. But up here, they will work on your aggressiveness by finding your vulnerabilities and exploiting them. He will never, I don't think, be a good high fastball hitter, and that's what he was doing early, swinging at high fastballs. If he gets the ball down there, he is going to be really, really good. If he can just stay right there from the belt to the knees in the middle of the plate, he's going to be a very, very good
Well,
hitter.
you got a good angle right there. He's a left-handed hitter, kind of crowds the plate a little bit, too.
Yeah, he wants the ball from the belt to the knees and from the middle of the plate in. So he's up on the plate. And the other thing is we've seen him swing over the top of a lot of breaking balls in the dirt. That comes from being a little pull aggressive, pull anxious, and he'll get over that.
Let me ask you something, Roy. You see the little bit of an open stance right there. Of course, that left foot almost back as far as he can get in that batter's box. That right foot a little open. Does that allow your hips to fly open for young kids? Why so many hitters open up a little bit?
I think you're on the right track. It clears your hips early, so you don't have to worry about it so much. You can hit back through the ball and then have your hips all the way out of the way.
Garcia strikes out on a fastball, 1 down.
Well, second strikeout for Peacock.
Along those lines, Roy, I remember years ago, Andres Galarraga really opened up his stance. He had both feet almost on the back line of the batter's box, and he said he did that so he would get both eyes more locked in and focused on the pitch as it was coming to the plate.
That really changed Galarraga's career around when he did that. I think it does a couple of things. It lets you get both eyes, look at the ball, and it also gets you back to square as you stride rather than into the plate. He used to be a little bit of a diver, meaning his stride would go toward the plate a little bit. You can get locked up that way, and so when you open up, it allows you not to dive in so much.
One of the first hitters that I ever faced was Brian Downing. With the Angels when he first came up with the White Sox and then the Angels. But boy, he would, almost show his chest at you.
Right. I think it also allows a hitter to get a little bit of rhythm going with their stride. I know some hitters believe that they just felt like their stride got in better rhythm in relation to the pitcher delivering the ball when they started open like that.
1-2 to Thomas.
And it's all a comfort zone, isn't it? It's how you feel in the box. Everybody's different.
Yeah, it sure is.
Close foul.
Let's stay on that, Roy. As a switch hitter like you were, did you have the same philosophy from both sides of the plate as far as how you stood in that batter's box?
Yeah, pretty much. I experimented both ways, both as a left-hand hitter and a right-hand hitter. But for the most part, I was the same.
Changeup gets a swing and a miss. 3 straight strikeouts. Now, ball caught awkwardly at first by Wallace. 3 straight strikeouts for Brad Peacock. 2 down.
I was talking with Ryan Doman before the game around the batting cage yesterday. He came out and said, "Okay, let me talk switch hitter," and we were talking about. He asked me, were you always the same right-handed as left-handed, or did you ever feel a lot better one way or the other? And that's the thing that switch hitters have to deal with all the time is getting enough work both sides, because you're 2 different hitters, not just one and the same just because you go on the other side of the plate.
Jamie Carroll getting the start at third base. He takes strike 1.
Well, most of your at-bats were probably as a left-handed hitter facing majority right-handed pitchers, as Ryan Doman, same thing. But, Twins had a great switch hitter, too, in the 91 World Series. Chili Davis, he had power from both sides, just like you did, right?
Yeah, he was a terrific switch hitter, one of the best. Chili was a fine hitter.
Now the hitting coach of the Oakland A's, Chili Davis.
2 strikes to Jamie Carroll. Let's have just the 1 hit against Peacock, but it was a home run by Morneau with a man aboard. 1-2. It's just a quirk. It doesn't really mean anything, but it's interesting to note anyway. The Twins are 12-6 this year against American League West teams. Won the season series with the Angels and the Mariners. Haven't played the A's yet. Have another series with Texas and Houston yet to come. 2-2.
That last pitch, Peacock really trying to overthrow that ball, trying to hit that ball, get that ball down and away, making his 8th career start, his 13th career appearance. 3 wins, 3 losses at the major league level, an ERA just under 6.
At the
Got
knees,
him.
Carroll.
Snapper mow him down inning.
4 straight strikeouts for Brad Peacock. 2-0 Twins. Sports North is presented by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By Grand Casino, the best stories start here. And by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. A Justin Morneau home run. A 2-0 Twins lead. A couple of waddly innings for Mike Pelfrey, and he delivers a slow breaking ball. Strike one to Robbie Grossman, who started the first inning with a single. Astros got a couple more hits in the second, both singles, both men left the board in the second. Fastball, a little bit high, 1-1. In baseball terms, sometimes teams go through this stretch of the season, and it's called the dog days of August, but in Houston's case, the dog days began in July. Here's a chopper right side. Morneau, the Pelfrey covering, one away.
I thought it started in April.
You got your Cleveland days revisited again, right? Get ready for Fox Sports 1, America's new 24-hour sports network. Fox Sports 1 will be your home for great live sports, all the news and highlights you like, shows and specials that only Fox could bring you. America's new sports network, Fox Sports 1. August 17th. The Astros have not won back-to-back games since the middle of June. That's a long stretch of about 7 weeks without so much as winning 2 games in a row. Strike one. Altuve with a fly ball to right, his first time up.
The sad part for the Astros, it's hard to find a positive what's happening in Houston.
You can't blame the owner yet. He just bought the ball club, so you know they've got a new man in charge. They decided to rebuild the whole organization, spending more money now in the minor leagues than the old owner did. 1-1 to Altuve. 2-1. Pitch will be the 50th for Pelfrey, on a pace to complete about 5 innings, and that's about it. A day when the Twins could use 2 more innings than the 5 he's on pace to give them.
He's only gone 7 innings one time, and you have to go back to that Philly game here. That's it.
No walks yet, but a handful of 3-ball counts.
Yeah, making his 20th start. Of his 19 starts, only 7 have been quality starts where you pitch 6 or more innings and given up 3 earned runs or less.
And there's the first walk with 1 out in the 3rd.
You know, guys, it occurs to me as you're talking about how much the Astros have struck out and the propensity to strike out. It's hard for me to imagine that it wouldn't be a good strategy just to throw the ball over. You know, I mean,
now, were you going to say that before Pelfrey walked Altuve?
I was thinking about it before the game. But, you know, in the scouting report that we've done on Mike Pelfrey is he's got to get ahead. He's got to throw more strikes. But I think against a team like the Astros, even more importantly, don't you think? I mean, they're not that great at putting it in play anyway.
Altuve takes off. Doman's throw. Right on the bag, a perfect throw, but Altuve with a steal on Pelfrey.
Yeah, his 27th stolen base of the year, so he's a young man that made the All-Star team for the Astros last year. He's got a lot of speed, and he's got a great jump right there. 8 stolen base against Pelfrey in 10 attempts.
Perfect throw by Ryan Doman, but not in time. A strike to Castro, who went down swinging in the first.
Ellsbury leading the American League in stolen bases with 40. Altuve now 3rd behind Davis of the Toronto Blue Jays, who has 31. No, I agree with you, Roy. You know, I said it yesterday when Kyle Gibson went into the 3rd inning with a 3-1 lead attack. You know, even though Wallace hit the home run, big deal. You know, you got 2 outs on 6 pitches, you attack. That started Wallace off with that breaking ball, fell behind. Wallace sat on the fastball, hit it into the bullpen. But then after that, 4 straight hits after is like, you know, the light went out.
And I agreed with you when you said that, Bert, because it wasn't so much the home run pitch as it was giving him the extra aggressiveness of missing ball 1. You know,
right.
Missing the first pitch and letting him hit 1-0.
Yeah,
I don't think he'd have the same swing 0-1.
Started falling behind in the count on those 4 hitters and ended up throwing 81 pitches into 3 innings of work. One thing you don't want to lose as a pitcher is your aggressiveness out on that mound.
Pelfrey delivered strike 1 to Castro. The next 2 missed, 2-1. Well,
Pelfrey making his 6th career start against the Houston Astro organization. 3 wins, 2 losses. Very good 3.31 ERA. He has a complete game against the Astros. He has 4 career complete games. This is his 169th major league start. That complete game coming back in 2008 when he's with the Mets.
Back-to-back walks. First and second, 1 down. And that'll bring up Brett Wallace.
And that's what you're talking about, Roy, right there. You know, free passes. My goodness, now a base hit. All of a sudden, you know, a big inning opens up.
Yeah, free passes and 2-0 counts. You know, just ball 1, ball 2, 2-1, 3-1. It's just a lot of pitches. And,
Roy, you were an everyday player. I mean, when you have somebody out there that, you know, doesn't attack and works very slowly like Pelfrey does, it's hard to sometimes keep your focus and concentration at the position you're trying to play.
Well, let's just say that as a professional, you're supposed to keep your focus all the time, regardless of what the pitcher's doing. But I'll just say it's a heck of a lot easier when it's pitchers throwing strikes all the time.
We might have seen that. There's a pitch up high, ball 1 in Pelfrey's last start. He wobbled through the first, gave up a couple of hits, gave up a single and a walk to start the second, but no runs scored. There were 2 on and 2 out in the third, and Pelfrey's pitch count was up. A lot of pitches in all the innings, and Tejada was up, and he hit about a 6-hopper right up the middle, over the rubber, over the second base bag, swing and a miss. And it was a play that Pedro Florimon went to his left and didn't quite get to. And you look at that in retrospect and you think, you know, maybe if there was a little more pace and rhythm to the game, and maybe the shortstop is on his toes a little bit more, maybe he at least knocks the ball down.
I tell you what, I felt I took a lot of pride in when a player made an error behind me, it was my job to pick him up, and I felt really well about myself when I was able to do that. You know, these guys bust their tail end. If you're a pitcher on the mound and you know they make an error, hey, that's part of the game, but it's my responsibility to pick them up.
In this case, so Florimon never got the glove on the ball. He reached for it, going far to his left, and you know, maybe if everybody's on their toes, he gets a little bit quicker jump and can at least keep the ball in the infield.
Well, like Roy said, you know, every player out there, you see them all set, ready for the ball to maybe be hit to them. But, you know, when there's 30 seconds sometimes between pitches, that, you know, you get set and then you kind of freeze a little bit. Yeah. So it cuts down maybe your range a little bit.
I think all of us that have watched the game, been a part of the game and watched the game for a long time can say with absolute certainty that more good plays are made behind pitchers that are throwing a lot of strikes than the other way around. That's just, regardless of the reason, I just know that's true.
The service at the concession stands is better when the pitcher works quickly. 2-2. Three and 2.
But see, it's not just working quickly. You can work quickly and go 3-1 and walk guys too.
Yeah,
and there's no difference. Bert, you may feel like the quicker a guy works, the better chance he has of throwing strikes. I don't know about that, but I will tell you that it's not that so much the time of between pitches, but the time between balls being put in play. And you can go 3-1. You can go 2 minutes without a ball being put in play.
Pelfrey's faced 12 batters, 6 3-ball counts.
This is going to be a tough play. Barehanded by Dozier. What a play!
Spectacular.
What a play by Dozier. It landed in no man's land between Pelfrey, Bernier, and Dozier. And then he streaked in barehanded and made a great play.
Yeah, right in front of Bernier. It might have been a play, too, that Bernier might have been able to make, but it's Brian Dozier, who's a little bit quicker getting to the ball right here, cuts in front of Bernier, and then had a little trouble getting a hold of that ball to where he could throw it over to Justin. Watch a little bit, but able to get something on it and get the out at first. Great play by Brian Dozier.
And you see the ball spinning right there. See how he grabs it in his whole palm? That ball was spinning like mad. It sawed him off, the hitter off. The ball was spinning, and his aggressiveness to take charge of that ball and then handle that spinning bounce was really, really good.
There's Carter, the batter. 2 men in scoring position, and there's ball 1.
And you see the chances of Dozier, and he's made only 3 errors. He's done a great job at second base.
You know what I love about the Twins middle infielders? These two guys, Bernier and Dozier, and Florimo, when he's out there, their instincts are so good at being aggressive and making a good first step at the ball, the right decision right away.
Popped up center field. Dozier out. He's calling for it. And Pelfrey leaves 2 more men aboard in the 3rd.
Thanks to Justin Morneau's home run, his 10th of the year. Then coming in the first inning with Bauer who had walked, makes it a 2-0 Twins lead. Mike Pelfrey, 3 innings, but 64 pitches in the 3 innings. He's walked a couple, had 3 strikeouts, left 5 men on base. The Astros have, but Brad Peacock has struck out the last 4 batters he has faced. Just gave up that home run to Morneau.
Bernier will lead off the 3rd for the Twins. Bernier at short again today for Pedro Florimon, who has a sore left wrist. They were going to undergo an examination of the wrist and maybe have some determination of exactly where they're at with Florimon. Twins leave for Kansas City after the game today, and presumably there's a chance Florimon might not be able to play for a few days. 1-0 to Bernier. And a strike. 1-1. Before his call up, 2 games, 4 at bats in the big leagues, and then a long period of time again in minor league baseball. So don't think for a minute that Doug Bernier isn't enjoying every minute he's spending in a big league uniform.
It took him a long time. He came up with the Rockies a little bit in 2008, played in only a couple ball games in the middle of June. Went 0 for 4, and then back to the minor leagues. He's been in almost 1,100 minor league games.
That's a bouncer in and out of the left-handed Joe Vavra.
Bernier, 33 years old. Signed by the Rockies back in 2002 out of Oral Roberts University out of Tulsa, Oklahoma.
1-2. 2-2.
Got his promotion because he's hitting well in Rochester. Hit 295 in 92 ball games down in Rochester.
Liner to left, a base hit. Good at bat for Bernier. And a leadoff single in the third. I don't think it's because he's wearing number 17, but Bernier reminds me a little bit of Jeff Rebele. Remember Jeff? He was a Bernier type of a player, an infielder 10 years ago, actually 20 years ago with the Twins.
You know what? He reminds me a little bit of Jamie Carroll, too.
Yeah.
You know, contact type hitter. A breaking ball just kind of spun right there. And Bernier hitting it off the end of the bat, but in the left field. Twins get their second hit.
Rebele wore number 17 for the Twins from 1992 through 96. Back to the top of the order, and Brian Dozier, who drove one into the right field corner, and Krause made a nice running catch. First out of the first inning.
Tight rotation on that last pitch, the curveball.
Bouncer wide of third. Dozier making a great play to pick up an awfully big out in the middle of the top of the third.
Boy, sure did. Wallace kind of, you know, got jammed a little bit right there, a little flare into the infield, and Dozier, as Roy said, had a little trouble getting that ball, but able to react quickly and get something on that throw.
One and one. I think that's one of the impressive things about Dozier's game in the field. Inside, nearly hit him. His, shall we say, creativity in throwing the baseball. And we've seen him make some really peculiar throws from different angles, from the outfield grass, here from the infield grass. He can throw it sidearm. He can throw it from the seat of his pants.
And he can do that from second base. I don't know if he could make some of those throws from short, like
Right.
he was, you know.
That's right, Bert.
He's done a great job of adapting to second base.
I was just going to say that. He's got a natural sidearm throw that's not great from short, but it's wonderful from second.
2-1 to Dozier. Popped up near the Astros dugout. And off the roof.
We have seen so many great plays from Brian Dozier, going up the middle and then also toward first base.
Some guys just find their natural position at some point in time in this game, and it's clear that Brian Dozier has found his second base. He's a good athlete. He had the ability to play shortstop, but he's just so much better and more comfortable over there with that. His ability to dive and make plays and throw from funny positions, as you say, Dick.
2-2 to Dozier. And a strikeout for the first out of the third inning.
And strikeout number 5 for Peacock in the ball game.
That'll bring up Chris Herman. Herman with a bouncer to second his first time up. Long hole and ball one. The Astros were supposed to start Dallas Keuchel. And today's game, but they needed to use him out of the bullpen here Friday night.
He ended up getting the loss in that 13-inning ball game.
Lucas Harrell was considered, I'm sure, given the fact he'd already given the Astros a fill-in start in Baltimore, but instead the decision was made to call Peacock up because of what he was doing at AAA. 1-0 to Herman. Lifted to left. And Grossman with the catch. That's out number 2. And before Joe Mauer comes to the plate, you can get interactive with us today. Our AT&T Twitter poll. We're continuing the question we asked you last night. Which walk-off win was your favorite so far this season? 3 to choose from. Hashtag Escobar walk-off. Hashtag Bowman walk-off. Hashtag Dozier walk-off. And we'll give you updated results later on today. Bauer's been held hitless in this series. 0 for 8, but a couple of big walks, including the one in the first inning that set up Morneau's 2-run home run. Not very often will you see Joe Mauer go hitless in the first 2 games of the series, and the Twins have won both games.
Yeah, Cabrera with the Tigers still leading the American League in hitting at .359. Then Mike Trout, then David Ortiz third, and Mauer right behind Ortiz.
Tigers got a couple of runs in the bottom of the 7th to lead Chicago 2-1, playing today without Miguel Cabrera. That hip injury continuing to give him problems running. Torrey Hunter's got a bad Achilles.
They haven't really missed them, though. They're the leaders in the American League as far as average. Tigers have won 7 straight. They have a 3-game lead over the Cleveland Indians,
who right now would be one of the wild card teams in the American League. The Indians would. At the knees, 2-1. Royals above the 500 mark. They're on the verge of winning the series at Citi Field at 6-1 Kansas City in the 6th. Kansas City, though, putting catcher Salvador Perez on the concussion disabled list, so he will not be catching against the Twins in Kansas City. Those foul ball off the mask things that leave catchers so vulnerable. 3-1, and Mauer hoping to be aboard again for another Morneau at bat. He's getting a leadoff hit from Bernier, just the second hit against Peacock. Drew a 2-out walk in the first inning. He might do it again here in the 3rd. Bernier goes, and it's a called strike, and Bernier is in with a steal. Full count to Mauer, and Bernier swipes second base.
That's a good pitch to run on, too. I have to say Roy would probably agree. You know it's probably going to be a fastball if Joe hits it. It might be a base hit. You might be even be able to score if it's an extra base hit. Instead, Joe takes it, and Bernier does get in the scoring position. His 2nd stolen base of the year in 3 attempts.
Yeah, I think they got a little bit lucky there, Bert. When you see a steal sign 3-1, generally speaking, that's like a hit and run if the ball's a strike.
Right.
And Joe took that ball for outside. Joe knows where the ball is, but it was called a strike, and that's an oops if the runner gets thrown out.
Full count to Mauer. Struck him out with a breaking ball. The inning ends with Bernier at second base. It's still 2-0 Twins. fans of the game. Another good crowd here. Probably the smallest crowd of this series, but I'm guessing right around 30,000 again. Maybe a touch more.
Well, we got some birthdays today. Josh Renicky turning 31. He's out on that bullpen. And our stage manager, Jim Pellinger, celebrating his birthday here with us today.
And some other notable birthdays. Roger Clemens, the President of the United States, his birthday's today.
I didn't know Roger Clemens was
the President of the United States. No, the two separate people having birthdays. Roger Clemens / the President of the United States, Barack Obama, his birthday today, too.
Well, happy birthday to them. Jim Pellinger probably feels very proud of that. He won't tell us his age. He won't.
No, sure.
I tweeted that working with us, he's probably close to 100.
Or might feel that way.
No, have you seen him lately? He looks 100. Happy birthday, Jim. And happy birthday to Josh Renicky. And by the way, 245 more days until my next birthday.
Where were you on Jim Pellinger's birthday in 1985? I think you were pitching for the Minnesota Twins. At least you were wearing a Twins uniform, not on this day.
This time of the year, yes. And strikeout number 4 for Pelfrey.
Rod Carew got his 3,000th hit against Frank Viola today.
Oh, I was in Anaheim then. I watched that.
MLB.TV celebrates 11 years. You can catch the rest of this season in stunning HD quality. Watch every out-of-market game live on more than 350 mobile and connected devices. Visit MLB.TV today. MLB.TV, baseball everywhere. Krause retired on strikes, and that'll bring up Dominguez, who singled his first time up.
Bert, I really like that curveball first pitch from Pelfrey. I'd like to see him throw more breaking balls like that in off counts, first ball pitch, just to put something else in the hitters' minds.
Yeah, it's called a get me over curveball. You have to have a lot of confidence in it, because a lot of hitters, first fastball hitters, get that breaking ball over, get strike one, get ahead in the count. And then when you do, then maybe you tighten the curveball up a little bit.
70 pitches for Pelfrey, 39 strikes, 31 balls.
Again, a high pitch count.
10 outs recorded so far. It's to center. Boy, Dominguez just looks like a really good baseball player.
Well, that curveball stayed up right there. He tried to come back with that same curveball, but this time Dominguez got it off the end of the bat, but hit it in the center field. His second hit off of Mike Pelfrey. Again, location. You see Doma give it to me down, but the ball just kind of stayed up, and good swing by Dominguez, lining it into center field. Yeah, not off the end of the bat. Got the good part of the bat on it.
Roy Smalley, you get to receive the worst punt of the homestand. Dominguez just got a base hit. He just got a fist bump from the first base coach. Would you call that a Dave Clark 5?
You're right. That's not the worst part of the homestand. That ranks up there. That ranks up right up there with all time.
Right. Okay. Wow. All right.
And I also don't like.
How long did you wait to put that on?
I also don't like the intuition, the intimation that I'm the only guy that would know who the Dave Clark 5 is.
No, I do too, Roy. Okay. Sorry.
1-0. Runner goes, and the pitch dribbled up the line, foul.
Well, a little hit and run put on right there, because Dominguez does not have a stolen base yet this year. Bo Porter trying to get him moving a little bit. Barnes fouled it off, so Dominguez has to go back to first base.
Well, I say that, Roy. I mentioned it to you because you and I have talked about music. We're of similar age and follow the same music. And Bert and I have worked together 19 years, and I don't know that we've ever talked about music.
No, I know nothing about music.
But you have heard of the Dave Clark 5?
Yes.
Okay, 1-1. Runner goes, another hit and run opportunity, and another chopper foul. You got to keep trying. Bo Porter talking in the Houston newspaper today. He wants his guys to learn and watch how other players do things, how they conduct themselves. He says you can learn an awful lot in this game by watching how other people do things.
Yeah, not only your teammates, but also the opponents that you're playing. Watch how they react.
Yogi told me that once, guys. He told me, and I quote, "You can see a lot by looking."
Yogi Berra said that?
Yep.
And he was serious.
He was, and I knew
he was dead serious.
And the sad thing was, I knew exactly what he was talking about.
You know, I had an opportunity down in Naples, Florida, to introduce Yogi Berra in a luncheon, and Yogi didn't want to get up and make a speech, so I asked him a bunch of questions, and you know, he answered them, and what a nice man. Him and his wife Carmen, just some great people.
Wonderful, wonderful. Just a baseball institution.
And what he says, you know, all the Yogi-isms, he doesn't like sit at home and think about it. That's just his personality.
Yep.
One and two. All these Yogi-isms, I don't think anyone has ever argued the truthfulness of the things he said.
I think about it all the time when I'm putting, you know, trying to make a putt and you leave it short. What did Yogi say? 90% of all short putts never go in.
Right.
1 and 2 to Barnes. Now 2 and 2. Pelfrey's just kind of perfected the rope-a-dope trick here in this outing against the Astros. A leadoff single, but no damage done. A couple of hits in the second, no damage done. A couple of walks in the third. No runs scored.
He's averaged about 5 pitches per batter faced. That's how you get that pitch count up.
Popped up short right. Dozier running out, and Herman with the catch and a double play. Dominguez didn't know what to do. It looked like the ball was going to drop, and Herman reached around Dozier to catch it and then flipped to first for the double play. Base.
I got to bring Roy in on this because Roy, I think he went a little bit too far right here. You have to be able to get back.
No question. You can't allow yourself to be doubled up. You may get thrown out in second, but you can't give up 2 outs there. No. Overthinking just a little bit, trying to make a great base running play, and it turned into a bad one.
Justin Morneau with the bases empty. In a towering 2-run home run in the first inning with Mauer aboard.
You know, as you look at that play too, you saw Dozier go back. That's always a dangerous play for a middle infielder to have to go back, and you know, on a ball like that, you know, you want to hear the outfielder, but your aggressiveness also goes after that ball. Seen a lot of injuries because of plays like that.
I had my art in my throat just a little bit from this angle, guys, watching Doze go back that hard and seeing and Herman coming in that hard right at me, and that looked like a collision waiting to happen.
Yep.
The Arizona Fall League, that happened to Jason Kubel. Ryan Rayburn went out. They had a terrible collision and shredded Kubel's knee, and he as good as he was with the Twins, he was never the same player that they anticipated him being because of the major knee construction. 1-2 to Morneau. Now 2-2.
And the problem with that play, and when collisions happen, as Bert is saying, the infielder goes out hard after the ball until he hears the outfielder call him off. The problem is the outfielder can't call until he knows he's got it. And the ones that are right in between like that, the outfielder calls late, and the infielder's too late, can't change.
Foul back by Morneau. Nice catch right in front of us.
I know my former roommate, Danny Thompson, who passed away of leukemia in 1976, but he got his face shattered because he ran into Herman Hill's knee in left field. Herman Hill was playing, I believe, left field, and Danny went back for a ball and got his face in his knee.
Another base hit for Morneau. He'll take a big turn and hold up with a single.
Well, 2 good at bats for Justin. The 2-run home run in the first. And right here, a base hit leads off the bottom of the 4th inning. And Justin, you know, one thing, I talked a little bit about the relaxation now. Maybe, you know, since the trading deadline's over with, he even says, you know, there's still August, but you relax a little bit. He's hit very well here at home this year, hitting over almost 320 now here at Target Field. 8 of his 10 home runs have been hit here.
Ooh, strong call. Dolan went down swinging his first time up. Paul Konerko with a 9th inning home run against Drew Smiley. White Sox have tied the Tigers in the 9th. Cleveland leading 1-0 in the 8th. Kansas City leading the Mets 6-1 in the 7th. Breaking ball lifted to center, and right at Barnes. And that'll bring up Arcia. Our Sanford Health injury report. Yasiel Puig injured his left thumb, made a diving catch in right field. Not in the lineup today, and
what that would make him day to day.
Day to day.
Well, what an impact he has made with the Dodgers since his recall or when he joined the team. My goodness, the Dodgers have just taken off. They have a 4.5 game lead coming into today's play over the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Arcia went down swinging his first time up. I think we all have watched the Twins outfield situation, and I think everyone would agree the outfield situation for the Twins is a little thin right now. Arcia called up, Hicks sent down. Twins have catchers in the outfield, Doman or Herman a lot. That's going to change quickly. By the time the Twins get to Chicago, Twins are hopeful that Josh Willingham will be there ready to help out. Darren Mastroianni might be ready to join the Major League club. Inside a ball, 2-0. And then if Aaron Hicks gets it figured out, maybe by September or sooner, Hicks will rejoin the ball club. And if you're Clete Thomas, you just got to ignore all that and continue to do your job. They're not going to carry 9 outfielders. Still limited to 25 men on the active roster until the September call-ups arrive. 2-0 to Doman, or to Arcia rather, foul back. But again, at some point, as we talked about with Roy Smalley during his second inning at bat, at some point Arcia is going to be here, and he's just not going to go back. He's got that kind of talent. The Twins want him to develop up here. They had sent him down because he was so strikeout prone, there was no development. 2-1. 2-2.
Well, you have to also remember that Arcia last year started in Fort Myers, you know, 8,
right,
then moved up to Double-A. He had put together a great year. He is actually the minor league player of the year in the Twins organization, the Sherry Robertson Award. He's hit at the minor league level, and he do it here.
Hasn't yet done it for a complete season in AAA yet, but when he has been there, he's chewed it up pretty good.
2-2 to Arcia.
And I think, Roy, that's what they hope that Aaron Hicks does, because, you know, he didn't play AAA ball. He came up from AA, so he's got to go down there with the right frame of mind and really put some good at-bats together. And hopefully they'll throw him a lot of breaking balls down there, too, so he can make the adjustment.
Right. I'm a big proponent of having a guy prove to himself that he doesn't belong at each level of the minor leagues as he comes up the ladder. Aaron Hicks did not prove to himself yet, because he didn't get a chance to, that he doesn't belong in AAA.
3-2 to Arcia. Morneau stays put, and the ball hit on the ground. Altuve fires to second, gets one, and that's all he'll get. Altuve almost had that ball roll through his glove.
He kind of did a Brian Dozier right there. Kind of slid into that ball and all one motion popped up. Now, he doesn't as far to pop up since he's 5'5", but makes a nice play right here. Ball hit to his right from his knees. Gets the force out at second base. So a nice defensive play.
Well, regarding the future of Hicks and Arcia, if you're like most people and you think that the best outfielder the Twins have had in the post-Puckett years was Torrey Hunter, well, then you need to remember Torrey made his debut in 1997, had a handful of at-bats in 1998, about a half season up here in 1999. Here's a drive to center, and that'll be caught on a run to end the inning, and still didn't have a full season with the Major League club until 2001.
Inside the Minnesota Lottery Winner's Circle. You guys were talking earlier about birthdays, and we're celebrating 80 years today for Russ. He's got a very nice twinkle light circle me Bert sign. I understand you haven't been to a Twins game in a long time. Tell me about that.
The last time was in the Mets Stadium. That was many years ago.
So what do you think of Target Field?
Oh, it's great. I couldn't believe it. It's just great. It's huge. I'm really happy that I got to come here.
Well, and you have great seats to enjoy the game day, too. We're going to give you $100 worth of scratch-offs from the Minnesota Lottery. You enjoy your birthday.
Well, thank you.
Have a great day. Bert, how many days till your birthday again?
Well, 345, but happy birthday to that young man right there.
No, wait, that can't be right. 345?
Excuse me, 245. I wanted to get this in. Kathleen Hansen's family is here. She passed away on July 15th, but they said she was one of the biggest Twins fans ever. And they're here to kind of say, a goodbye to Kathleen, who is a great Twins fan. So the Hansen family, welcome to Target Field.
Ground ball to first. VR retired by Morneau. One away. And, Mike Pelfrey will take all of those he can get.
Yeah, some quick outs.
One gone in the fifth. 81 pitches thrown. And back to the top of the order, and Robbie Grossman. And a strike called. We were talking about Torrey Hunter's career and up and down for parts of 4 years before he finally stuck. And in his first full year, he won a Gold Glove award. And we've talked about it in the context of so many of those guys. The guys that came up about that time are still playing. David Ortiz, A.J. Pierzynski, people like that. But the Twins scouted well. They brought good players up collectively when they rebuilt, like the Astros are doing now. So give them their credit for doing that, but you got to get lucky too. Yeah. And so many of those guys that came up towards the end of the last century proved to be answers at their positions. And I don't know that the Astros can realistically expect to be that lucky when you throw all these young guys out on the field at the same time.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know what the answer is. You know, you just hope that these young kids get an opportunity to get some at-bats here, and they'll figure out, you know, if not in September when they may have some more call-ups going into spring training, what are they going to do?
Base hit to center for Grossman. He's got 2 hits again today. He's now 12 for his last 23.
Dick, I think I think the reason what you're saying is absolutely true, but it's also the reason why they are trading some of their better players, like the pitcher they just traded away,
Bud Norris,
and because they're not going to win with Bud Norris. They'll win a few more games. He'll win a few more games, but they're not going to win. You don't know what you're going to get in young players, so you got to get a whole bunch of them.
Right.
When you're starting over, you got to just get a whole bunch of them.
Here's Altuve. Runner goes, and a ball dribbled up the line. Another hit and run put on by Bo Porter.
You mentioned, you know, there's a new owner now in Houston, but this has been going on since 2009 and 10 for the Astros, where they've traded, you know, some great players away. So how many years are they going to do that? Who do they have left that has, you know, some senior time in that they can go out and get somebody?
Yeah, I think they're about done now.
Well, Roy, you went through it on the other end. You were one of the veterans in '82. You and Butch Weiniger were traded. Here's a ball hacked foul again. And the Twins went very young in '82. And
I mean, look at the names that the Astros have traded, you know, since 2010. Some nice names on that. Jason Maxwell hit a game-winning home run for the Royals last night.
Altuve, the batter, runner at first, 1 down. Pelfrey got a double play to get out of the 4th, but it was not a ground ball double play. And a slowly hit roller. Bernier has to hurry, and he guns it across to Morneau. And on the play, Grossman goes to second. Be sure to tune in to Twins games Monday and Tuesday to take part in this year's broadcast auction. Fox Sports North and the Twins team up to raise dollars for the Twins Community Fund next week. You can bid on one-of-a-kind items and experiences like dinner in the Twins clubhouse or being on the grounds crew for a day and much more. Tune into the broadcast Monday and Tuesday from Kansas City and make your bids. The Twins Community Fund broadcast auction right here in Fox Sports North.
You know, that play that Bernier made right there, that's what Roy was talking about, the middle infielders with that cat-like instincts. That's a lot more difficult play than it looked like. Altuve pretty quick down that first baseline too, and Bernier came charging in. You see he's playing it deep short, and that ball barely got to the grass, so he's got to hustle. That's that first movement that he's able to get that ball and get the speedy runner at first. Nice play. Those plays sometimes go overlooked.
They really do. There are a lot of plays that middle infielders make that look from the stands, even on TV, like routine plays that are really, really good.
Swing and a miss, 2 strikes, and you say that again, cat-like instincts. And I just think back, I had a cat that had no instincts.
What'd you do with it?
It was the most lethargic, disinterested beast I've ever seen. He just laid there. He didn't do anything.
Well, then he didn't have cat-like reflexes either.
He didn't have cat-like reflexes. He didn't have cat-like instincts. It was terrible. 2 strikes.
I'm not even going to continue that because it's going to get me in trouble.
Well, No two cats are alike. They don't have the same level of instincts. 1-2. Castro with a strikeout on the first and a walk in the third. And now 2-2. Now Pelfrey's been bobbing and weaving again pretty much all afternoon long. He hasn't given up a run, but he's approaching the 100 pitch level.
I'm still laughing at your lazy cat.
Was it worthless? Worthless. I felt bad even.
I hope it lived a long life.
Well, I think it ran away and we just didn't care. I don't know what happened to it.
Sounds like it wouldn't have run too far.
Probably a half a block and just curled up into a culvert someplace. And 3-2 to the number 3 batter, Wallace on deck. Pelfrey given an early 2-0 lead. And he walked him. 2 men aboard again here in the 5th.
Second time he's walked Castro. Third walk of the ball game for Pelfrey, now at 95 pitches. Most pitches he's shown in a ball game, 113. That 3 starts ago against the Cleveland Indians here at Target Field. And with the bullpen already worked 13 innings over the first 2 ball games, you know, you'd like for him to maybe push it a little bit here, but he has to get out of the inning here to try to go out for the 6th.
Wallace hit the home run yesterday. Part of the big inning against Kyle Gibson. Drive into center. And Grossman around third and score. Pelfrey gives up a run here in the 5th with the tying run now at third.
And Wallace jumping on that fastball, lining it in the center, picking up his 22nd RBI, and it's a 2-1 ball game. In a location. The ball stayed about thigh high, and Wallace hitting it sharply. Grossman scoring from second base.
Astros lost the game yesterday, but in the 3rd, when they knocked out Kyle Gibson, he survived and completed the inning, but they put together 5 straight hits with 2 outs to score 3 runs. Pelfrey wants to make sure nothing like that develops here in the 5th. Carter, the batter, a couple of pop-ups, one in foul territory caught by Morneau, the other one in caught by Dozier, backhanded by Domet, ball 1. Sharply hit and the game is tied. Carter with a sharp single to left, and Castro comes in, and the Astros again are picking up some clutch 2-out hits.
Rick Anderson's going to go out to the mound, but a changeup, and again location. That ball pretty much right down the heart of the plate, and Carter, who was a strikeout opportunity, 145 Ks in 342 at bats. Josh Renicky getting up on his birthday. And Anderson's visit allowing Renicky to get some more throws in. You see the changeup right there, stayed right there. And Carter very strong. Hits it sharply in the left field. Carter picking up his 52nd RBI.
It was a quick trip to the mound. Literally. Mark Krause has a single and a strikeout against Pelfrey. Go ahead run now at second. Twins being out hit here 7-3. Foul back. Well, there are some things that Bo Porter must like about how things have gone, even though the Astros, as we said, haven't won back-to-back games in 7 weeks. But to string together 2-out hits like they did last night, they get a couple here in the 5th inning to get the game tied up. It's been one of the shortcomings for the Twins this year. 2-out hitting. 1-1.
Well, we showed you the averages over the last couple ball games. The Astros actually the lowest in Major League Baseball as far as 2-out hitting. But see right now, 100 pitches. We've seen this way too often this year by the starting staff. Pelfrey trying to get out of the 5th inning.
Two and one. Krause hitting 200 thanks to his 1-for-2 afternoon here. All back 2-2.
I mentioned when we were talking about Pelfrey right off the get-go, he needs 5 1/3 innings to pitch 1,000 innings at the major league level, and don't think he's going to do that here today. Just trying to get 5 innings in now with 102 pitches.
Two and two. Another 3-ball count.
8 3-ball counts.
3 walks allowed by Pelfrey. Couple of runners aboard. Wallace and Carter have each delivered 2-out hits here in the 5th, each one driving in a run.
And this is what I was talking to Roy Smalley about earlier. You know, your defense just kind of now back on their heels a little bit.
Runners will go on 3 and 2. Snap bat. Bernier sidearms it over to Morneau. That ends the inning. But a good inning for the Astros. A couple of singles with 2 out, tied again.
Well, the Astros just scored 2 to tie the game at 2 apiece. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not been reproduced or transmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins.
Well, Twins in a tie game now. Jamie Carroll will lead things off. He takes outside, ball 1 from Brad Peacock, who has pitched very well here. Hard-pressed not to say that he's pitched better than Mike Pelfrey has.
Well, he's more aggressive. You're not taking a lot of time between pitches, attacking the strike zone. 6 strikeouts in a ball game for Peacock. No walks. It's allowed only 3 hits. And since that 2-run home run by Morneau, he's settled down nicely. 6 strikeouts.
Given up a couple of leadoff hits, but hasn't paid the ultimate price for that. Carroll, Bernier, and Dozier here in the 5th. Inside corner 1 and 2. Carroll called out on strikes to wrap up the 2nd inning. Bernier in the on deck circle got a single in the 3rd. Problem has not been starting pitching for the Astros in this series or the last couple of weeks for that matter. Carroll strikes out again, 1 down. Problem has been their bullpen. Join Fox Sports North for an HD viewing party Wednesday, beginning at 6:30 at Maynard's on Lake Minnetonka in Excelsior. Watch the Twins wrap up their series in Kansas City. You can win prizes. You can be on TV. You can meet Jenny, Kaylin, and Angie. Visit foxsportsnorth.com. Click on the upcoming events banner for details. Bernier, the batter, showing bunt, taking a strike.
And that strikeout of Carroll, 2nd time Carroll struck out. That's number 7 for Peacock, and that ties a season high and a career high at the major league level with the 7 strikeouts. He had 7 against Oakland in Oakland back in April.
That's behind 3rd. Great stop at 3rd by Dominguez. Got it. What a play. A tremendous backhanded play by Matt Dominguez.
Yeah, Dominguez playing off the line, and that ball hit right down that 3rd base line. Dominguez reached out at the last second, then had to regroup himself as he almost fell. You see right there, kind of spins around, and Wallace over at first base, even though the throw was up the line, a nice pick over at first base.
Wow. 2 down in the 5th, and now Brian Dozier. Breaking ball over, strike 1.
On Dominguez, 11 errors and almost 300 chances.
1 strike to Dozier. In the dirt, 1-1. Dozier hitless. Drive to the right field corner. Caught by Krause, and then he struck out on a breaking pitch in the 3rd.
Trying to keep that 10-game hitting streak going.
Back to the pitcher. Second 1-2-3 inning for Brad Peacock. And we have a tie game going to the 6th. behind the mound by Brian Dozier.
We've seen Brian Dozier throwing right up the middle. We watch him juggle that ball, but able to get something on the throw. That makes a very nice play. That off the bat of Brett Wallace in the 3rd inning. Well, Mike Pelfrey's afternoon is done. 5 innings. He gave up 2 runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts to 104 pitches. Josh Renicky getting a chance to pitch on his birthday. Happy 31st birthday to Josh Renicky. Having a good year out of that bullpen. He worked here on Friday night, 1 shutout inning in the 13-inning Twins win.
Bottom third of the Houston lineup. Dominguez, who got a pair of singles against Pelfrey. And then Barnes and VR. Swing and a miss on a breaking pitch from Renicky.
We also forgot to mention it's Eric Milton, former Twins, birthday today.
Okay.
Jeff Gordon, NASCAR driver, of course, birthday. A lot of people having birthdays today.
To Hopper to third. Carroll has it.
Glad I'm the only one on April 6th.
You know who I share a birthday with? You know, on March 1st, you know who I share a birthday with? Justin Bieber.
Do you really?
Yes, I do.
Gotta let your hair grow.
Twins bullpen has been dominant in this series.
Yeah, it really has. Only 1 run allowed, 13 innings pitched. Got both the wins out of that bullpen. That a combined bullpen ERA at 2.93. Outstanding.
Brandon Barnes, the batter, with 1 down in the 6th. Twins want to get to the point, though, where they're winning games because of their rotation, not because of their bullpen. Got Jared Burton, who's won a game. Dunsing's won 4. This one hit the left center field, and a nice running catch by Thomas. 2 down.
Nice catch. We got a beautiful view here at Target Field, and that ball, you know, just kind of hung right there. We got to watch Thomas go from straightaway center to left center and make a nice running catch. Yeah, the bullpen with the 4 strikeouts of Pelfrey. As you take a look at Thomas right there, straightaway center, glides over, nice running catch. Twitch starters have 313 strikeouts in this 108th game. The bullpen 335. They have more strikeouts than the starters. Starters have worked about 580 innings, and the bullpen about 380.
That's too many. 16 of the Twins wins registered by relief pitchers. That's not, I guess, that high of a number when you've only won 47 games. Renicky has had a nice, tidy 1, 2,
That's his birthday. He should have a nice, tidy inning. Happy birthday, Josh.
Try the new Premium McWrap at McDonald's today. I'm loving it. And by Toyota. Let's go places. To find your nearest Toyota dealer and check out our current offers, visit buyatoyota.com. Twins have not done much against Brad Peacock. He discovered something in the minor leagues and has brought it here to Target Field. He pitched very well for their AAA team. He'll face Chris Herman, Joe Mauer, Justin Morneau in the 6th. Strike one. Herman 0 for 2. Mauer 0 for 1 with a walk. Morneau 2 for 2. We'll see if the Twins can get something done here in terms of reclaiming the lead. And
Peacock's shown a pretty good fastball, good breaking ball. There's a good curveball right there. Also the changeup.
You're right, Barry. When a guy throws 92, 93 miles an hour and is throwing that for strikes and then drops that big 12-6 curveball in there, that gets a hitter pretty confused.
Check this one, I think. 1-2.
That's exactly where the pitch that Castro wanted. He went fastball and then kind of moved his fingers up, give it to me up, and it's exactly where Peacock threw that ball. And Herman just held up. Here comes Uncle Charlie.
In the dirt.
A guy that has, excuse me, Bird, but a guy that has a good fastball and a good curveball like this, as a hitter, you've got to hit the fastball when you get it. The Twins have fouled off a lot of fastballs to hit. Then they get in counts where they have to protect against the curveball, and they can't have real good swings against either pitch.
Ouch. Ooh, that got Jim Reynolds, a home plate umpire. He's going to run it off all the way to the mound. Well, umpires have those, you know, the kind of the steel shoe. Let's take a look right here.
Right off the toe. Full count now to Herman. Twins have gotten a couple of leadoff singles, and Peacock has only walked one man, and he paid the price for that one. And he walks Herman in front of Mauer and Morneau. Mauer drew the walk and scored on the Morneau home run. Fox Sports is proud to partner with Johns Hopkins Medicine, one of this year's Fox Sports supports charities. Johns Hopkins is at the forefront of groundbreaking research into autoimmune disorders like multiple sclerosis and lupus. You can join us in the fight against autoimmune diseases. Donate now by visiting hopkinsmedicine.org/Fox. Mauer walked in the first, scored on the Morneau home run, and then struck out on a breaking pitch to wrap up the third inning. Joe still looking for his first hit in this series.
This would be a good time for it right here.
Down low, ball one.
Walked in 5 pitches in his first at bat, I believe, or maybe 4 pitches in his first at bat, but then struck out in the third inning on a pretty good curveball, on a 3-2 curveball from Peacock.
Over the Astros dugout, 1-1. And the Twins leave after the game, go to Kansas City for 3. Have an off day Thursday in Chicago, but a doubleheader on Friday in Chicago. So a stretch that the Twins have just begun where they have 29 games in 29 days. Not a good time to start that stretch with some short starts by your starting rotation. Fly ball left center field. And the wind maybe carrying it all the way over toward left field, one away. Let's go to Jamie Hirsch.
Thank you, guys. Well, as Justin Morneau steps up to the plate, he, of course, is responsible for both of the Twins' runs so far in this game, and he is also the subject of our Grand Casino Social Spotlight for today. So we want to hear your thoughts. Chime in on Twitter using the hashtag MorneauMashes. Share what you think of Justin's performance today and maybe all season long, and we could use your tweets in our post-game show.
Well, thank you, Jamie. Don't know whether Matt Garza is going to offer up a tweet. He got himself into some hot water overnight with his Twitter account. Here's Morneau. 2 hits, a home run to right and a single to center. Foul back. Garza was
a little upset
at Oakland's Eric Sogard for dropping down a bunt, and he extended it to Sogard's wife on Twitter, and just kind of nasty.
That's not right.
Not right.
You know, I know we both tweet. I try to tweet positive things. There's too much negative in this world anyway. So I've read some of your tweets. You've got to be a little more positive.
I do?
Yeah. The only thing I got to ask you is fly ball, 2 fly ball outs right here. What is a left-handed toast?
That's the one loss column. The wins are on the left side. So when the Twins win, then you. Yeah. I thought you knew that.
No, I toast a lot, but I never did it left.
Do you use both hands, do you?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes one in each hand.
Yeah, I read that in the left hand. Let's try that one time.
Ryan Doumit, the batter, runner at first and 2 down. Twins trying to take advantage of the leadoff walk, but
it didn't work last night.
Twins need a 2-out hit here from Doumit. The Astros tied the game with a pair of 2-out hits.
Another good curveball right there by Peacock.
I'll tell you, anytime the catcher catches the ball right above the ground and the umpire calls it a strike, that's some bite on a curveball.
Yeah, that you know, and that's sometimes I have trouble with that with Roy on my curveball because it's where it crosses the plate. It's not where, say, Jim Laudner called it sometime or caught it. And sometimes some umpires call them, some won't.
That's a different era, and the equipment is different. But Earl Batty, former great all-star catcher for the Twins, when he'd come to the fantasy camp, he says that's something that fundamentally catchers do wrong now. They don't catch the curveball the right way. Earl said with, like, for instance, Camilo Pascual with the big curve, he would put his palm up and turn the glove around to catch the curveball, and you got more calls that way.
Right.
2 strikes to Doumit, and off the plate.
Peacock has shown a very good curveball.
Yeah, it's one of the better ones that we've seen, I think. You know, the curveball, like that one, the big, hard-biting curveball is one that is kind of leaving the game, too, in favor of sliders and cutters and all that. But it's fun to be down here at hitter's level watching an old-fashioned Uncle Charlie right here.
Outside, 2-2.
Well, what makes a good curveball is the tightness of the rotation of the baseball. It looks like a fastball, and then I kind of learned mine watching Koufax pitch. I called it a drop when I was trying to learn my curveball.
It was probably Koufax curve. Vin Scully said it wasn't Uncle Charlie, it was Lord Charles.
Yes, it was. Right. Well, they had that, 2-foot mound, too. Unbelievable drop.
2-2 to Doumit. Well, Herman stutter stepped his way toward second. It doesn't matter. Doumit strikes out on Uncle Charlie. first.
Well, in the first inning, Justin Morneau, after a Mauer walk with 2 outs, gave the Twins a 2-0 lead with his 10th home run of the year. And that held up until the 5th inning when the Astros scored a couple runs off of Mike Pelfrey. Pelfrey 104 pitches in 5 innings, and now the bullpen takes over for the Twins. Josh Renicky starting his 2nd inning of relief, and that's something that Renicky has not had to do a lot of this year. Maybe a handful of times he's been asked to pitch more than 1 inning. His longest outing, you have to go back to my birthday, April 6th, when he pitched 3 shutout innings against the Orioles in the Twins' 6-5 win.
Strike 1 to Robbie Grossman, who's the hottest hitter on the Astros and one of the hottest in the National League. 12 hits in his last 23 at-bats, 2 singles today.
Well, this is what the Astros want to see out of a young man like Grossman in his rookie season. You know, these type of games. And can he hit at this level? He was, down in AAA this year, played in 70 ball games, hit .281. Not a lot of power, just a couple home runs. But he's getting the opportunity, and right now he's making the most out of it.
Getting some hits on the bottom of the order, asked to hit in the leadoff spot where he hasn't had that much success until today. 1-1. Tap foul, 1-2.
Another youngster, the Astros, the youngest team in Major League Baseball. Grossman at only 23 years old. Born in San Diego, California, but went to school in Houston, Texas.
Breaking ball, got him.
And he knew it.
4 up, 4 down for Renicky. That'll bring up Altuve. Twins tickets remain available and affordable. A lot of summer left this year at Target Field. Check out the Steal of the Week and demand-based pricing for great deals on single-game purchases all season long. These and other special deals available every day of the week. Go to twinsbaseball.com/tickets or call 800-33-TWINS. Twins on the road for a week. Then the Indians and White Sox come in for a week-long homestand. Altuve gets his first hit. A 1-out single to center.
Yeah, we were talking the other day about Altuve being 5'5", and reminds me a lot of Polanco.
Placido?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just his swing and everything, the way he's built. You see him standing next to Dave Clark. But he stole a base back in the 3rd inning, so that's probably why Ron Gardenhire's bringing in the lefty.
Renicky leaves with an inning and 3rd under his belt. Link to what's next. And our subject is left-hander Caleb Thielbar.
Well, Thielbar has been outstanding since his call-up, making his 27th appearance. 27 1/3 innings, 26 strikeouts. He's walked 9, but 2 intentional. given up only 9 hits. He worked here on Friday night. 1 shutout inning with the strikeout.
He's one of 3 players on the 25-man roster now that is on the 25-man Major League roster as a veteran of independent league baseball. You got Chris Colabello, you've got Thielbar, you've got Andrew Albers, who's going to start on Tuesday. Castro, the batter.
That's one good thing about independent baseball. Some players get released, they get that second chance and just go out and play, and something clicks for him. Maybe at a little bit of an older age. Thielbar, 26 years old.
Outside ball 1.
Thielbar signed by the Twins out of the independent team St. Paul Saints back in 2011. Got called up on May 20th.
Keeping an eye on Altuve. Well placed ground ball here. Could get a double play grounder. Twins haven't had one of those yet.
Altuve again stole a base in the 3rd inning. His 27th stolen base. Been caught 7 times.
Indians beat Miami 2-0. Another good game for Scott Kazmir. Red Sox and Tigers tied at 2, bottom of the 11th in Detroit. And we are tied at 2 here in the top of the 7th. Runner goes, got a great jump, and Doman's throw right on a bag. 2 really good throws by Doman on the Altuve stolen base attempts, but in each case the runner is safe.
Well, it's the first couple steps. And Altuve, you can see he's at full tilt within 2 steps. Slides feet first into the bag, steals his 2nd base of the ball game, and his 28th on the year.
And you're right, Dick. He had a great jump. I mean, when I was looking at it right down the first base line and watching Thielbar come to the plate, I said to myself, no chance. And Ryan Doman threw it right in the bag, almost got him when he had really no business having to be that close.
Half swing and strike call. Thielbar averages, as you saw, about a strikeout per inning, and he can sure use one here now with Altuve at 2nd and 1 out. Wallace, the on-deck batter, another left-handed hitter. Nice block by Doman. That pitch landed in the middle of the right-handed batter's box. 3-1.
Very nice block right there. As a catcher, of course, you call the sign so you know what's coming, and you expect it to be, hopefully over the plate. And Doman using everything he can to knock that ball down. Ends up using his chest protector, deaden the ball.
You also saw Thielbar with just 9 walks and 27 in the 3rd innings. 2 of those were intentional. 3-1 to Castro. And a walk fills first base. 3rd time in the ballgame that Castro's drawn a walk. We'll bring up Brett Wallace.
Wallace got the first RBI for the Astros in the 5th inning off of Pelfrey, an RBI single. Followed by Chris Carter's RBI single, who's on deck.
Wallace called out on strikes in the 1st. Ground ball to Dozier in the 3rd. RBI single in the 5th. Popped up behind first. Morneau near the railing on the warning track makes the catch. And the throw. Morneau showing off a strong arm. We don't see it very often. Altuve had nobody guarding second base, so he could make a bluff toward third, and Morneau from the warning track delivered a strike to Carroll. 2 down.
You know what I like about that, Justin, not only making that throw over to Carroll, but Arcia out in left field. He was the cutoff man.
The backup.
He went back to protect in case that ball got away. So a nice reaction by Arcia. He knew where he needed to be, and that was being the backup in case that ball got overthrown or short hopped.
Carter the batter. An RBI single with 2 out in the 5th. Thielbar misses outside, ball 1. Haven't seen Thielbar misfire like this very often. 7 pitches, just 2 strikes. Trying to keep this a tie game. Two and 0. Three and 0.
This is one guy that will probably have the green light right here in Carter, leading the Astros with 19 home runs, and Domet maybe going out to talk to him about that. Saw Jared Burton getting loose.
Their left-handed batter Krause on deck. Three and 0 to Chris Carter. Strikes out a lot, walks a lot. Thielbar misses on 4 to fill the bases. Throughout the afternoon, the Astros have had opportunities to get a big hit, score a run. They got a couple of those hits in the 5th. Meanwhile, the Twins have had just 1 at bat with a man in scoring position, and that was Mauer in the 3rd inning. L.J. Hose is going to hit for Mark Krause. Instead of the lefty Krause, who went 1 for 3, it's Hose hitting with the bases loaded and 2 out in the 7th.
Hose started in last night's ball game, got 1 hit, an RBI single in the 3-run 3rd inning for the Astros.
And Thielbar cuts the plate in half. Just seeing Thielbar throw a lot of strikes. He's walked 2 men here in the 7th to fill the bases. Slow breaking ball off the outside corner. Kansas City's completed a 6-2 win over the Mets. Irvin Santana with another win for the Royals. Twins won't have to face him, thankfully.
Good fastball right there. Just threw it right past Hose.
Astros have left 7 men on so far. Thielbar trying to
make it 10.
Make it 10. 1 and 2. Bouncer to short. Underhanded to Dozier. Nice job eventually by Thielbar, as the Astros threaten but do not score. We'll go to the home half of the 7th, tied at 2, and on this beautiful summer Sunday afternoon, we bring you God Bless America.
Bench, please rise and welcome back representatives from Land O'Lakes Barbershop Choruses as they lead us in the singing of God Bless America.
Beside her and guide her through the night.
nights on Fox Sports North. Join host Bill Shirk and Laura Schara as they take a look at the stories and adventures of outdoor enthusiasts in the upper Midwest. Due North Outdoors, Thursdays at 6:30, only on Fox Sports North. Oswaldo Arcia takes down an in ball one.
Brad Peacock out there for his 7th inning of work. 96 pitches right now. 8 strikeouts. That's a career high at this level.
J. Ho stays in the game in right field, and now it's 2-0 to Arcia. I'm going to make a call here.
Yeah, I'm with you, Dick. 2-0 count. Should be a fastball. He's seen 2 at-bats, 2 and plus at-bats worth of fastballs. I like the call.
I hope they're paying attention in the plaza.
That call is a home run
yes,
here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know if it was a base hit or what.
Fouled away. Not necessarily on this pitch.
Fouled
away.
Call's good for the at-bat.
Timing the fastball. Only 2 runs the Twins have against Peacock came on a Morneau home run to right field.
But like we said, when you get a fastball and you're looking for it, you got to hit it.
3-1. He'll probably get another one here.
Yeah, he gets another chance. He missed the 2-0 one. Now he's got to hit this one. If it's in the middle of the plate where he wants it, he's got to hit it.
He missed with the changeup right there to make it 3-1.
So Thomas on deck.
Is that the fastball sign?
3-2.
That's
fastball at 91.
That's a pitch up there that we're talking about. Arcia will always have, maybe not always, but it's going to be a while before he's good on that pitch, belt high or above. He's really got to make the ball be down in the strike zone.
That's a tough ball to lay off of, though.
It is, but you got to, if you're not good at it, you got to do it. You got to lay off of it.
3-2 to Arcia. Popped up, backing out of play.
Well, he got another fastball, just got underneath it. Another pitch up.
Tom Rudansky told me we were talking about Arcia. At one point in time, I was asking him if he agreed with me about Arcia needing to lay off the ball upstairs and high in the strike zone. Bruno said, "Yeah, I tell him look down, even with guys that ride the fastball high. So he never throws it up there. Just look down. It's always going to be down."
Another 3-2. Popped up near the Houston dugout. Play. Roy Smalley showed very little range on that one.
I thought it had me right from the time it left the bat. I thought it had me.
Now you're well hit in the corner there.
Oh, I'll find a hiding place.
Plus you can run down into the tunnel.
Right. That sound you hear is my headphones slamming against the ground.
I thought that was Tim Laudner's glove.
Arcia will get another 3-2 pitch. Deep to right field. This is back. Gone, a home run.
Now that is a heck of a call. That's a call of the year right there, partner. Arcia hitting his 7th home run, and he puts the Twins up 3-2. So he finally caught up to that fastball, Roy.
Yeah, he finally got it after seeing about 7 of them today. He finally got to it, and this is why this young man is in the lineup. He's always a threat to put a charge in one, and he did right there. You should have heard the sound of that off the bat. That was beautiful.
Well, being a former pitcher wasn't that beautiful, but if you're a Twins fan, that was really good.
Here's Thomas taking strike 1.
That sounded like one of those pretty good fireworks the other night.
Yeah, that caused me to use that left-handed toast a lot with my right hand.
Roy, do you ever heard of a left-hand toast? That you could be a glass of milk, could be whatever, but you raise your left hand because you put one in the left-hand column.
You know what? I'm with Bert. I came to that party just this year. I think you told me about it.
Well, I just assumed all professional athletes did that.
That's a new one, relatively new.
Thomas taps it foul. 2 strikes.
Well, Peacock, that second home run, he's allowed to Justin Morneau, and Then the home run right there by Arcia. Only 4 hits allowed, but he's down 3-2 right now.
Boy, what a pretty swing that was. I can't tell you how fun that was to sit right here and watch that from right in front of him.
Twins have now hit 97 home runs in this their 108th game. They've allowed 102. And we've talked about this from time to time. The margins between home runs hit and home runs allowed is really compressed this year. And it's not because the Twins are hitting an abundance of more home runs. The pitching staff has just done a better job keeping the ball in the ballpark.
Yes, they have.
Call third strike. Thomas is gone. 1-0.
Strikeout number 9. Let's take another swing or look at Arcia's home run. A fastball. Boy, he didn't miss it. Nice solid swing. Wow.
Actually up and out over the plate, and he just put a charge one. You would, I think, call this a high line drive. This wasn't a high fly ball. And when you hit a line drive into the flowers over that big scoreboard, that's juicing it. I'm telling you that. Well, I probably shouldn't use that.
No, don't use that term.
That's putting a charge in one.
Strike one. Well, since you brought it up, they're saying now that Alex Rodriguez is going to be suspended tomorrow. He's going to appeal his suspension. And because of the appeal, he's going to play for the Yankees tomorrow in Chicago. How'd you like to be Joe Girardi and have to deal with that mess?
Well, the media is already a circus in New York, as Roy knows, but it'll be a bigger circus now.
2 strikes to Carroll. That's to center. And playable for Barnes. Now number 2. I can tell you this, the Twins lineup has struggled to score runs, to be sure, but the Astros have Cozart the other night. Bedard might not be here when the Astros get good again, but this young man looks like he's got some things to work with on the mound.
A couple of relievers in the bullpen. Right in fields. Who's right to the lefty?
Bernier the batter with 2 gone. Strike 1. Bernier with a couple of doubles. 4 singles. Down low. 1-1.
It's Peacock's longest outing at this level. 6 2/3 innings right now.
Breaking ball over.
Still has that sharp breaking ball.
I got to believe that Bo Porter and the staff are very happy with this outing, even though he's behind by a run here, at least a run into the 7th inning. He's pitched very well.
Yeah, 9 strikeouts are career highs, allowed only 4 hits, but 2 of them have left the ballpark.
Two and 2 to Bernier. Inside 3 and 2. Dozier on deck. Try and make it a sweep here over the Astros after being swept by the Royals.
Fastball away.
And he got him.
Strikeout number 10.
Arcia's 7th home run of the year puts the Twins up 3-2 as we move to the 8th. 7.
You know, it is a strange game because you can go out and not have very good stuff, but you know, you make a couple bad pitches and cost you maybe a win. But last time the Twins swept a series, we have to look back to June 18th against the Chicago White Sox. Twins still need 6 outs here, but they do have a 3-2 lead. Jared Burton coming out of the bullpen. Hopefully the Twins will be doing that after 9 innings. Thanks to Arcia's 7th home run of the year. Solo home run to lead off the bottom of the 7th inning. Jared Burton has been pitching outstanding since July 4th over his last 13 appearances, covering in 11 1/3 innings. He has not allowed a run. Only 5 hits, a couple walks, 11 strikeouts, and you see his numbers overall, making his 51st relief appearance.
For the first time in a long time, Burton asked to protect a lead in the 8th inning. Casey Fiends pitched the last 2 nights for the Twins. Burton getting a chance to protect a 1-run lead, facing Dominguez, who takes ball 1. Dominguez, Barnes, and VR in the 8th. What this suggests is that Glenn Perkins is good to go for the 3rd straight game. The plan would be, you would think, Burton in the 8th and Perkins in the 9th, but Perkins has pitched in each of the first 2 games of this series as well. 1-1 to Dominguez. A number off the end of the bat, and it spins foul. Almost looked like it was going to try to come back fair.
Well, another great crowd here this afternoon. 34,780.
How many?
34,780.
I think this is true. Every game in this homestand drew over 30,000 fans.
Twins thank the fans for their support again.
Twins actually outdrawing by a couple thousand fans per game the Baltimore Orioles. They've been among the league's best the last 2 years. Dominguez strikes out on the changeup, 1 down.
Burton picking up his first out on a strikeout.
They say that the Rays game today has sold out. Maybe the baseball fans in the St. Petersburg area are finally catching on to what everybody else in baseball knew, that you got one of the most dynamic managers in the game and one of the most exciting teams to watch. Young. We're going to be together for a while. Up and in, ball 1. Tampa Bay beat the Giants 4-3 today. Tigers completed the sweep over the White Sox 3-2. White Sox have now lost 10 games in a row. Torrey Hunter with the walk-off hit for the Tigers. 2-0 to Barnes.
I think that's what we have seen Burton do over the last month, is trust that fastball a little bit more. He kind of threw that ball right past Barnes. He's got a great changeup. I think for a while there he kind of fell in love with it and forgot about the fastball.
It's a slider, and we've seen him, my recollection, use the slider a lot more too, becoming more of a 3-pitch pitcher.
Right.
Almost using the changeup as his 3rd pitch rather than his primary pitch.
Well, he's getting ahead with, you know, the good fastball, the hard slider, and then maybe finishing that hitter off like he did with the last batter with the changeup.
2-2. Tapper to 3rd. Carroll has it covered. 2 down. When you join the Twins season ticket family this year, you'll be hitting the sweet spot. Purchase any of the Twins season ticket packages that are still available in August. You receive 10% off food, beverage, and merchandise here at the ballpark. Season ticket prices are also up to 20% cheaper than single game purchases. 833-TWINS, twinsbaseball.com, the places to go. Check out the benefits of being a season ticket holder. VR the batter. And if Burton gets him, that will bring the total in this series to 16 innings pitched by the bullpen with 1 run allowed. That's a foul ball, strike 1.
First of all, those are great numbers, but the bad part is it's too many innings.
Yeah, I mean, the extra inning game, you can't do much about it. You're going to have those.
Take still 4 away.
Right?
I mean, that's 12, and that's still too many innings.
1 strike to VR. And now a ball.
You know, guys, the corollary to what you're talking about is Anthony Swarzak leading the league in innings pitched. That's great that he's been able to do that, but you don't want your long man leading the league in innings pitched.
Yeah, you don't want that guy to have more innings than your starters.
Was it Bill Campbell 1 year?
Yes.
The lead pitcher had like 170 innings.
He qualified for the ERA title.
Never started a game, did he?
No. He won 17 ball games.
That was 1977.
Right.
1 and 2. Fouled off of Dolan. Back to the screen.
Your uncle was the manager.
Gene was the manager, and he just wore Soupy out.
Yeah.
Bill's easy to spot in the fantasy camp. He's the one with his knuckles dragging into the dirt.
He's also the only one that looks like he could still pitch.
That's true.
Unbelievable. I think he's 82 years old. He looked like he'd still pitch at this level.
You know, next year at the fantasy camp, by the way, let's have you lead calisthenics instead of Campbell. A strikeout of Altuve.
There'll be a keg out there.
Burton with a good 1-2-3 inning and a couple of strikeouts. Going to make a call here.
Yeah, I'm with you, Dick. 2-0 count. Should be a fastball.
Deep to right field. This is back. Gone, a home run.
Now that is a heck of a call. That's a call of the year right there, partner. That was a great call right there. You and Roy. Roy jumped on the bandwagon. I just sat here.
And I'm not surprised in either case.
Good
bottom line is the Twins have a 3-2 lead as they hope to complete a sweep and get to Kansas City, and they hope find a way to start beating the Royals. Josh Fields is out of the Houston bullpen for the 22nd time.
Yeah, Fields worked here on Friday night. Almost the whole staff did for the Astros out of that bullpen, but he ended up working 2/3 of an inning. Did give up a run with a walk and a strikeout through 16 pitches. Fields in his rookie season with the Astros, 27-year-old right-hander.
Brian Dozier hoping to extend his hitting streak to 11 games. 0 for 3 with a fly ball to right, a strikeout, and a one-hopper back to the mound. Fields misses twice, 2-0.
Brad Peacock, he impressed me here this afternoon. I thought he threw well. A couple pitches got away from him, and the Twins took advantage of those fastballs.
2-1. Glenn Perkins is warming up down in the bullpen. Peacock looks like he's something that the Astros, someone that the Astros can build the rotation around. 3-1.
Well, we saw Cozart here on Friday night. He's
Very
another one.
Impressive. 3-1 to Dozier. And a strike fills the count. Herman will follow, and then Mauer.
Dozier's maybe last chance right here to keep his hitting streak going. Came in with a 10-game hitting streak. You see Perkins getting loose.
Foul back, heading back in our general direction.
Oh, no.
Well, that was a little bit
area and went down underneath.
A little bit short of Dan Gladden, who clanked one again here the other day. Gladden.
Fans got some bad hands down.
Well, but Gladden's got a glove on.
Well, he's always had bad hands. He's my left fielder.
3-2 to Dozier. Another one coming back to the same section. At least they kept that one in the section here. Gladden's ready.
Yeah.
He's had 2 opportunities, and he's 0 for 2.
Yeah, he's got a glove in his left hand. I don't know why.
Now, Michael Jackson wore a glove for no reason, too. I'm going to get in trouble.
Yes, you are.
Dozier
goes
out
on
strike.
Yep.
Time now to take our final look. Our AT&T Twitter poll today, we asked you which walk-off win for the Twins has been your favorite so far, and overwhelmingly it was Eduardo Escobar's walk-off to the warning track in the first series of the year against the Tigers. One down, Chris Herman, the hitter. Ball one. Herman drew a leadoff walk in the 6th, but never budged from first. And a strike on the outside corner.
Feels a Rule 5 draft for the Astros out of the Red Sox organization. And the Red Sox won again today, 4-0 over the Diamondbacks. They just keep winning in Boston. Charlie Farrell's done a good job.
With much the same players that the Red Sox had last year when they finished in last. 2-2. Red Sox have the best record in the American League. Pittsburgh marginally ahead of them. Tampa Bay right on their heels. Rays win again today, too. Up high. Interesting series in the Bay Area. The Rangers and A's. The A's have pulled ahead of Texas. Now Texas hoping to win the series and get back to within 2.5 games of first. Liner to the shortstop. VR with the catch. Well hit ball for out number 2. Let's check in with Jamie Hirsch.
Thank you, Dick. We just want to invite all of you viewers at home to stick around after the game for Twins Live presented by Century Link. We're going to take a closer look at Justin Morneau and Oswaldo Arcia powering the Twins today to what they hope will be a sweep of the Astros. We'll also take a look at Brad Peacock's day. He was impressive for Houston. And, of course, we'll hear from manager Ron Gardenhire. All of that and more after the game.
Thank you, Jamie. 2 down. Joe Mauer held hitless in this series. And a strike. One strike to the Twins' designated hitter. And he gets his first hit. Bouncer up the middle. Bauer's digging for two. And he's in with a double. How about that? We're used to seeing the doubles hit down the left field line or to the gap in left center field. This was a ground ball single up the middle until he turned it into a double.
Aggressive base running, smart base running right there by Joe Mauer because of the way the ball was fielded out in right center field. He saw that and he took the gamble right there. And with 2 outs, you want to get into scoring position. Joe hitting the ball sharply. You see him keeping his eye on the ball and then saying, you know what? The way they went about business, I'll slide in safely.
And what you just saw there, of course, kids are taught to run the bases that way. You make the turn before you get to first, so you only have to run 90 feet to get to second. He's at second with 2 down and a pitching change.
Rounded himself to get ready to go in, but let's take a look right here. Watch the outfielders right here. Hose comes in, and that's what Joe must have saw, that, you know, he didn't really charge that ball, and, you know, it's your decision. You don't have to be told by Scotty Alger to try to take that extra base. That was a smart base running right there by Joe Mauer. Ball looked like it kind of died a little bit on the grass, too.
Morneau now with a man in scoring position.
Wesley Wright on the mound for the Astros, making his 51st relief appearance. He worked here on Friday night, just a third of an inning.
Well, that might even be something that Joe wouldn't try with 1 out in the inning, but, you know, you want to get into scoring position. Joe's not going to steal his way there. 1-0 to Morneau, and now 2-0.
Yeah, Wright came in here on Friday night, faced Arcia and struck him out on 3 pitches. Remember, he threw him that big breaking ball when he was 0-2, and Arcia swung through it. That Wright has
popped up left field. Grossman with the catch. It'll be a 1-run lead for Glenn Perkins as he hopes to pick up another save and complete a twin sweep. showing the excitement here at Target Field. Glenn Perkins just trying to pitch an unexciting top of the ninth here.
Yeah, he pitched in last night's ball game. Pitched here Friday night too. Did give up the run to tie the game. Gave the Astros the lead in the top of the ninth, but Twins tied it. But last night picked up his 26th save.
Center fielder Thomas with the call and the catch, and a very quick first out here in the ninth.
You gotta like that. Perkins looking for his 27th save and 30 save opportunities. And in save opportunities, you can see the great earned run average of 1.55. Opponents hitting just 194. Perkins threw 19 pitches last night, 11 for strikes. And 17 here on Friday night. So he does need some quick outs here.
He struck out Altuve looking last night. And Altuve takes strike one. Then Castro, and Castro got, or Perkins got Castro to fly out to left to end the ball game last night. Tapper fouled, 2 strikes. Might have gotten a piece of Jim Reynolds behind the plate.
Reynolds got one off the right toe earlier in the ball game. That looked like he hit the left hand. The home plate umpire.
All the way. Boy, Astros pretty aggressive with Perkins here. 4 pitches, 4 strikes. All but one pitch offered at.
Well, Doman sitting inside. Get it in there. It doesn't matter. That was a 96 mile an hour fastball right past Altuve, and Perkins picks up a strikeout. For Perkins, his 54th strikeout in 43 2/3 innings pitched.
Castro has walked the last 3 times up. He struck out in the first and gets to put a ball in play. Swinging a foul, and that rips the mask off of Doman. Tough inning to be behind the plate. Reynolds took one, I think, off the left arm someplace. Now Doman takes one off the grill. We talked about Salvador Perez. And the Kansas City catcher is on the concussion list because of a foul tip very similar to that. You don't realize how much of a impact that is. And again, the catcher's masks now are so much lighter. It used to be the big iron bars would absorb so much of the impact on a foul tip.
Well, especially when that fastball is coming at 95, 96, and then the contact's made, which is going to speed up the ball.
Right. One and one to Castro. Inside nearly hit him.
Perkins protected a 2-run lead last night, trying to protect a 1-run lead here.
That's to left. Arcia will play it on a hop, and the inning and game go on. Bring up Brett Wallace. So far in this series, the Twins bullpen has given up 1 run in 16 2/3 innings. The run they scored was against Perkins in the 9th inning Friday night. Hose just hit a little chip shot to right field, and then Dominguez nearly hit one out to left, as it was an RBI double. Swing and a miss.
Elmore pinch hitting for Wallace. Jake Elmore.
Wallace a left-handed batter. Elmore obviously a righty. Fouled away, 2 strikes.
Another great crowd here on their feet at Target Field.
Laid off the slider. And it's 1-2. Gilman might have fished that one out of the dirt to keep the runner at first. Fastball fouled back. Into the seats.
One good slider away, down and in. That breaking ball left up a little bit by Perkins.
15th pitch for Glenn Perkins. Lays off the slider again. 2-2. It's not a pitch that he throws for a strike very often. He usually gets swings and misses from right-handed batters. High fly center field. Thomas coming in. He's got it measured. And the homestand that couldn't have started any worse couldn't have finished any better.
I tell you what, Houston's got a long way to go. Twins took advantage of it. They fought back some close ball games here, but the Twins get the sweep of the Houston Astros.
And Tom Hanneman, the Twins, after a winning road trip, could only hope for a split in this 6-game homestand, but they got it done.
Dick, Twins close out a week of extremes, swept soundly by the Royals, and then they complete a sweep against the Astros today. We'll break down the third and final game of the series up next on Twins Live.